Hello, welcome back to this is a triage episode on More Fun Fixing It. And in these episodes I like to just take a first look at machines, open them up and find out exactly what might be wrong. Well, not exactly even, just have a little educated guess of what might be wrong. It also gives people an opportunity to give their opinions of what's wrong and maybe point out things that I've missed. So it's a really useful thing for me to do. So today I've got 3 +3s, which has got to be lucky really, isn't it? I've got 2 here from Paul Universal Retro Boss, and this one's mine. This one I picked up at Cambridge. You might have seen on my road trip video recently. So we're going to look at my one first. But it's handy to look at 3 machines that are the same because I only have to have 1 set of leads out at a time. Right, so I can't remember, but I obviously already had a look inside of this during the Cambridge episode. So all the screws are out of the bottom, and the ones in the floppy drive I must have just put back in just to keep the case from flopping open. So we'll just put those back with the other ones. This is in really good condition, this one. It just needs a clean. There's a little bit of sticky residue across there, but that feels like it will come. Yeah, it's coming off quite nicely actually. So I reckon this one will clean up really well. If I can get this working, this will be a really good addition to my machines. I quite like the idea of having a GoTech in a +3. So I'm not too worried if the disk drive doesn't work in this. I haven't got any, well, I've got 2 3-inch disc games for the +3, but they are both, well, one of them I think just doesn't work and the other one is very, very touch and go. And I'm not interested in collecting 3-inch discs. No, Dave, that's just for you. So I'm much more interested in having something a bit more convenient like a GoTech in here. So let's get this out of the way. And these, I mean, they're a nightmare. The rubber band, I've only got 1 in stock and I've got 3 machines here that are going to need the rubber belt changing inside of these disk drives. So I won't be doing my one. Okay, let's get it out of the case as well. The original fault on the piece of paper that came with it was power LED on, no display output. So it's got power, it's power getting in, but no display. It's a little bit worrying, but I think it's something to do with this chip here, is what I think. There's so little solder on all of these points. It would be amazing if they've held on. But before we do anything, I am going to plug it in and switch it on just to see what we get, because you never know. Right, we should have capture running. Here we go. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, that's a gut punch. Bloody thing just works. Crying out loud. Okay. Well, I'm going to reflow the points on that ULA anyway. But for now, I'm going to put it away. Oh, it has had some work done. This CD74HCT273E chip up here has been changed at some point. The joystick ports, for what they're worth, have been reflowed, as is the reset switch. That looks like factory flux on, it might be factory flux on all of those actually, but it does look like it matches this flux on this one. So, well, thanks for that. Cheers, Will. Oh, so ungrateful. The next time I come and buy machines off of you, mate, you better make sure they're broken. Okay, this one is working. I'm pretty sure it is working okay. But this is, again, just a floppy. What am I doing? This is just a floppy drive refurbishment. So let's try this one. Yeah, you can hear the motor spinning without a belt on it, or just flapping bits of perished rubber all around inside the drive. So that one's working. So this could be a very, very short episode, which is fine. I don't mind that. I'm just going to plug this one in without opening it up, because this could be another big waste of time. Oh, here we go. Yeah, look. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's disco time. I wonder if we get anything on Diagnostics, actually. There's my amazing Steam Card Pro from my fantastic friend Dave Steamy Briggs. Right, are you ready? Anything? Oh, it might be running. Oh, no. Oh. It's missing the... Oh, yes, excellent. RAM fail. Brilliant. We've got an actual fault. I think I've got some of these chips as well. I might fix this. This might be a repair episode instead. Brilliant. I'm going to just try the Retrolium Diagnostics. See what that says, see if it agrees. Gives good feedback, this one, on whilst it's running with the flashing borders. Okay. Right, I will consult the Steam Card manual, because that shows you which chips correspond to which diagnostic results. Screws are working their way loose all by themselves. I've never seen that before. Well, this is a totally different drive to the ones I'm used to. This one you can see the belt, or this flywheel partially, but it's also got the belt in there. I don't think, and I can't see the other end of it very clearly, I think it's stuck to the spindle down this end. Yeah. Yeah, it's just wrapping around. Let's pull a bit out. There we go. Yeah, that's not going to work. And it's sticky. So it sticks to the metal spindle part of the other end, and is really hard to get off. But I think I've got most of it intact, so that's actually a win. This one has a much better chance of working again. And it's very, very clean inside. All right, let's get this board out. No work been done on this one, which is a good thing. So I don't know which chip it is, but we can find out with a thermal camera maybe. I've left my new thermal camera indoors, so I can't use that one. But let's give it some power. See anything? If anything lights up, what's that? That's the ULA. It's lighting up. Okay, these RAM chips here. These RAM chips here are warming up slightly. Sorry, no, these RAM chips here on this side are very cool at 20 degrees. There's one here that's 23 degrees. It's ever so slightly warmer than its neighbour. Just see there. Very, very slight difference. This chip over here is always hot. This is that one. That's the AY sound chip. They always run toasty hot, and the TEA 2000 chip here is well, it looks hot, but it's not. It's 38 degrees. It's probably hotter than you would want it to be, but yeah, everything else is looking very normal. Yeah, but that, I reckon, what is that? IC3. I reckon that's our faulty chip. So the first half of the RAM bank, but it's not. It's saying that half of the RAM is failed. Interesting. Right, here I've dug out the Steam Card Pro Diagnostics manual, user manual, and I'm pretty sure in here somewhere. So 0, 1, 2, and 3 are okay. So that's saying that they're okay. That IC3 is okay, if I'm reading that right. So IC3 and IC5 are 0, 1, 2, and 3, and IC4 and IC6 are 4, 5, 6, and 7. Which are the ones? Is that saying that? Which ones is it saying is failed? Is it 0, 1, 2, and 3, or 4, 5, 6, and 7? What does the other one say? There are some more diagnostics on here. So on bank 2, there's a Spectrum 128K RAM tester by Paul Farrow, and then bank 3 is Sinclair's ZX Spectrum+2 diagnostics by Dr. Ian Logan. So they will actually be more useful here, hopefully. Let's try those. I'm not sure which ones are on which banks, but let's try one random one. I don't know if that's working or if it's just frozen. I'm going to try the other one. That doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. There's plenty of activity on the LEDs, but it's not doing anything. So I don't think that's helping us very much. Might have to go old-fashioned on this. Just going to test the voltage whilst I'm in here. That way we can see it. Yeah, 5.05 volts is fine. Not worried about that at all. There's quite a lot of ringing on this signal because the I'm using quite a long ground. There's nothing happening on this IC3. Well, that one looks stuck as well. That might just be. So pins 2 and 3. Yeah, they're not doing anything on IC3. I think it's IC3. I'm taking out IC3. Trying a different tip. This is like a long wedge tip. Yeah, I quite like this. Still quite a lot of solder on the top there, so I'm just going to hit it with some hot air. Okay, let's give this a test. It's dead. I was right. Yes, dead. Dead. Very, very dead. So we've got the socket. I've got a 41464 testing in here, and that's passed. So let's solder this in and see what else happens, what else goes wrong. Not forgetting that these chips are south facing, so the notch has to go at the bottom, like that. And diagnostic card in, video in, power. Oh, it's still got, it's still on the other test, which I don't know. That's different expected behavior for me. Looking good. Hey, that's working. So again, thermal camera got me to the solution faster than anything else did, although I wasn't 100% sure until I scoped some of the signals on this RAM chip and found that there were some very, very different signals on that one compared to the other ones around it. So that's yeah, it just goes to show that a variety of tools are your best friend. I think I'm done for this one. I'm not going to do a floppy drive refurbishment in this one. It's not something I enjoy, and I don't think it would make very good viewing, watching me hurt my fingers and scrape goo off. I have only got one belt anyway, I think. So I have got enough to do both of those machines, but I'll do those off camera, button them up, test the keyboards, make sure everything works, load games, that sort of thing. And you'll be able to buy these wonderful machines off of Paul Universal Retro Boss on his eBay account, or wherever he sells these things, probably in a wheelbarrow out the back of his house. But that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Cool. That was easy.